No? Okay. I'm going to tell you for the exams because we were told that, and it is true that many people, many students haven't been attending regularly the online classes. So that's not going to be all chapter 9 chapters equally weighted. Okay. So what I'm going to do is all the chapters that we've done in school, that is from chapter 1 through chapter 5 and chapter 7. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we did not do 6. Remember, we did 7. So these 6 chapters which we've done in school, that you have to do very well from chapter 6 onwards, like 6, 8, and 9, which we did in here through online lesson. You will prepare it, but not too much of it will come in the exam. So that means most of it will come in the form of multiple choice questions. Okay. I won't be giving you a proper 4 marks, 5 marks question on that. All right. So you will get about, so basically you will have 6 chapters to really put your focus on. Okay. Chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. And 6, 8, 9, you will read it, and it will be about 20% of the marks will be on those chapters. Is that clear? Did you understand, everyone? Any questions on that? Hello, people, talk.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7.
Okay.
And 6, 8, 9, we will not do in many, in great details, because there are so many students who want here. They did not understand, I'm sure, if they just read the book. So I will not be able to take major questions from these 3 chapters, that is 6, 8, and 9. But what we will do is when we come back next year in September, the first exam will be a mock test on 6, 8, 9. So we will just, finish that, and then we will go ahead with the other exams. Okay. So who's this? Barzi. Barzi is here.
Yeah, miss.
Where is,
But
hi. Where is
yeah, but is also
Paris?
coming. He's also coming. He just went downstairs to join.
Okay. Because I'm writing down your names today, so that's why. Did you hear about the exam? Uh, like, the chapters that is going to come for your exam, Barzi?
What?
The exam, the chapters that are going to come for your summer term exam.
No, actually, no, I did not.
Okay, so we were saying chapter 1 to 5 and chapter 7. These are very important chapters. That means you have to put all your focus on these chapters 1, 2, 3,
Okay.
4, 5, and 7. Okay, because
But
these are the chapters that we did in the school,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
And then chapters 6, 8, 9 are the chapters that we did online. So we were told that we can only ask about 20% of it. So I will just give you,
So
say,
chapter
questions.
6, 8, and 9, we will only do 20% of them.
That's right. So
Okay.
I will just give you maybe, one multiple choice questions from each.
Ms. Day,
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ms. Day, do you have any idea when these exams will take place?
I think 1st of June.
Is that, but Miss, like, that means we only have like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know, because some other teachers told us mid-June, not first.
I know. So I was not told, but then since you don't have school at all, I don't think you will have school. So except for the exams, you won't go to school. So I don't know whether it is first or mid of it. The date has not yet been told. But I would, I have been telling Mr. Shan and everybody to decide on the time. So it'll be nice if you all also say, I mean, you have to prepare, right? So you have to ask them.
I know, because there's a difference if it's in 2 weeks or in like 4 weeks, because that means we can split it differently, you know. So like, I hope it's mid-June, because
You have had holidays since 2 months. Okay?
Yeah, but
Keep that in mind.
like still,
Hmm.
there are more
I know
distractions.
how you guys work. Two
I know, but
months
miss.
that's not enough. You slept and
No,
played
but like,
games
miss, you
and
have to be
watched
fair to us
Netflix.
as well. There are a lot of distractions.
Yeah, right.
I mean, like when we're at school, like like, you guys give us lessons and stuff, and we're like kind of pushed to do it. But when you're at home, there's a lot of distractions, and you can easily like while you're studying, just do something else.
So lockdown should have taught you a lot of things, by the way. Should have taught you self-control. Should have taught you discipline.
Miss, haven't let any of that,
Should
miss.
have taught you a lot of that. I don't know how y'all are going to do the exam.
Miss, I don't know how I'm gonna do an exam if we have an exam in 2 weeks. My
But
sleep
don't
schedule.
worry, I will give it very, I know I'm known for giving very long and difficult exams, but I'll be very sympathetic this time.
Oh, thank you, miss. It means a lot.
Yeah.
That miss, is it confirmed that we're doing the exams? Because Mr. Pishman said it's not like have the thing accepted it yet. That means he said we're waiting for the ministry to accept it. Is that true?
Ministry has already told us
Oh,
that he should have told you this. I mean, he should have known this.
I think it was a
Ministry
while
has
ago.
already told us that we can take exams, not in May, but
It was a while
in
ago,
June.
miss.
Huh?
It's probably because it
He
was a
did
while
tell us
ago.
that.
No, he
Yeah,
did tell he
the
did tell us.
ministry has already said that we will. Why are you taking pictures of me? Delete
Miss.
that, please. Dasan.
Miss, I think it's by accident
Okay.
because he's on iPad.
So the ministry has told us to take the exams in June. We only have to decide on the date. All right.
Miss, please tell them not to make it first. Please, could you give us that?
Hmm?
Miss, could you give us that? Please tell them not to do it on the first.
It's
Like,
not on my hand, but I don't think it'll be on first. What is that? Misclick. Is this our last lesson? Depends on how this lesson goes. Okay, so I'm going to start my lesson now. It's been a while. I've waited as much as I could. And whoever is here. Others will get a recording. Please pass on this information. I will write it on Google Classroom about the chapters that are going to be, assessed in this summer term. And then at the end of this lesson, like, I don't know if I have to take another lesson or not, but at the end of the last lesson, I'll give you a review of the entire chapter 9. I think out of all the chapters that you've done so far, this is the most complex chapter. And I know it's been hard to understand and work on this, isn't it? Was it easy or difficult?
Yeah, it was difficult.
I think this was the most difficult chapter in the entire year for biology. So I have prepared some review work that you can do and that I will post in Google Classroom. Please go through those because that's going to help you to revise. And again, I'm telling you, go to Seneca and revise your main basic concepts of biology, and that will help you. If you're not into biology or you want to just do core or you want to just has biology, Seneca will really help you to at least know the real concepts, the basic concepts of biology. All right. So last time I worked on, we spoke about the blood vessels, right, in the heart and the different types of blood vessels in the body, right? So today we are going to talk about the blood, the last component of the circulatory system. So we've done the heart, we've done blood vessels, and now the blood. Okay. So um, what are the three different cells in blood? What are the three different types of cells do you see in blood? Do you know? Ah, 1 second. I haven't started sharing my. I keep forgetting, you guys. You should have
Miss,
remind me. Yeah.
isn't it four? Isn't it four?
Tell me. Yeah.
Red blood cells,
Yes.
white blood cells, plasma.
And platelets.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are the three types of blood cells which are found inside the blood. Blood is made up of a fluid called blood plasma, and inside the plasma are suspended these different kinds of cells. Okay, so let's go to this bit on Seneca. Okay. So, white blood cells, red blood cells, and the platelets. Wait. Okay. So the white blood cells are suspended in blood plasma. And before white blood cell, I'd like to do the red blood cells. Okay. The red blood cells are called erythrocytes. Okay, remember this word, erythrocytes. Let me bring up this slide here. Here, erythrocytes. Erythrocytes. Erythro means anything to do with red, color red. Okay, cyte is the cell. So red cell or red blood cells. They are also called red blood corpuscles. Okay, so they are about 7 microns in size. They are circular. They are biconcave. They do not have nucleus. They are about 5.1 to 5.8 million of them in adult males, and in adult female it's about 4.3 to 5.2 million cubic millimeters, right? And the average lifespan is of 120 days. Now, why do you think the red blood cells live only for 120 days? Hello?
Because maybe they lose their hemoglobins, or
I just said the red blood cell has no nucleus. That is one adaptation of red blood cell, right? So if there is no nucleus, will it be able to, make its own protein or function? Because the nucleus is the control center of the cell, right? If there is no nucleus, it will die a natural death after 120 days. Is that clear? Okay. So the red blood cells called erythrocytes are suspended in blood plasma. This is a nice way of remembering this word, platelets. Remember plate and then lets. Okay, platelets. They are also suspended in blood plasma. And then you have white blood cells, which are suspended in blood plasma. And we are going to learn about two different types of blood cells. Please remember this. It's called phagocyte and lymphocyte. Okay, these are the two types we are going to learn today, phagocytes and lymphocytes. Right. Okay. So let's look at the, this is a video which we can skip right now. Just talks about the three blood cells and the white blood cell and the platelets. Okay, you can skip this or you can go ahead and watch it later on. Okay, so the white blood cells are suspended in blood plasma, and look how they are seen under the microscope. Yeah, that's a phagocyte actually moving around. This is the red blood cell, and these are the platelets. The platelets are really, really tiny dots. Okay, now the red blood cell has a special protein molecule inside it. It's called, what is this word? The protein or the pigment
Hemoglobin.
which gives us red color
Hemoglobin.
is hemoglobin. Remember the name, remember the spelling, very important. Now, the hemoglobin is the protein to which oxygen binds, and therefore red blood cells transport oxygen to different parts of the body, because this is the molecule on which the oxygen gets piggybacked. Okay, and hemoglobin carries oxygen, which will then be released into the body cells or used up for respiration. Oxygen, remember, respiration is required for oxygen. Now, the red blood cells are very small. Why do you think they are very small? They are very small. They are about 7 microns in size, which means they are very, very small. So that they can what?
Move easily through the capillaries.
Yes, so that they can fit easily into capillaries, because remember, capillaries are the smallest blood vessel and their diameter is also about 7 microns. So therefore, red blood cells are very small so that they can fit into the capillaries through the so that they can pass through the tiny capillaries. Okay, and the shape of the so what is the adaptation of red blood cells? They are very small in size so that they can fit into the capillaries. Size is one. The shape is another. They are called biconcave. That means what? The red blood cells have dents on each side. If this is your, say, I always give an example of an M&M. If you imagine the red M&M, okay, and if you have dents on both sides, then that will be called biconcave shape. Okay, bi means two concave shapes. This biconcave shape is very important. Um, why do you think? Okay, first of all, the number one adaptation of red blood cells is that it does not have nucleus. Why do you think it doesn't have a nucleus?
So that it could carry more oxygen.
And how is that? So that it can
Uh,
space for which molecule? For hemoglobin, right? So if it has enough space, more room for hemoglobin, so that is number one adaptation. Second is it is very tiny in size so that it can pass through the tiny capillaries. Third adaptation is it is biconcave in shape. Now, what do you mean by biconcave shape? Biconcave shape gives it a certain advantage. Can anybody think of that? No?
It can move faster.
No,
more
biconcave shape.
surface area, Miss
Very good. Who said that?
Dylan.
Zealand. Very good. So biconcave shape creates a large surface area. And why is that important? Large surface area helps in what? Where did you learn about the importance of large surface area? Remember in movement of cell, movement in and out of cells, what is that one topic we said that large surface area is very important because it helps in faster what?
Oxygen.
Oxygen what? Oxygen what? Just don't say oxygen. Oxygen what? What it
Diffusion.
has? Diffusion. Very good. It gives a very good a surface, large surface area helps in faster diffusion. That means in in exchange of gas. Why? What happened, Prusha? Is there a problem, Prusha? Ah, okay. You have been writing, sorry. I did not ignore, I did not, it doesn't, ping or say anything while I'm talking. So I missed it. I did not ignore. You're right. Okay, Prusha, that's great. So that is one of the adaptations. Now, it has no nucleus, I just told you, because it will free up space for hemoglobin. This maximizes the amount of oxygen that they can carry. Now, let's answer some questions here. Red blood cells have a dash shape. What shape?
Biconcave.
A concave shape that creates a large
Surface.
surface area and allows the rapid
Diffusion.
Diffusion.
What would happen if red blood cells had a nucleus? Come on,
Last option.
so you can read it, Baba.
There would be less room for hemoglobin and oxygen.
That's right. Let me see who answered, otherwise they think that I'm ignoring them. Okay, so my computer is very slow because I'm doing a lot of other work in it, and I can't close the windows. Okay. The components of blood. We've just done that. The component of blood is red blood cells, platelets, white blood cells, and the plasma. Blood is made up of a fluid called plasma, which has red blood cells called, what is the word? Come on.
Erythrocytes.
That is right, erythrocytes. Get the spelling right, please. Erythrocytes. White blood cells,
Phagocytes and lymphocytes.
phagocytes, and lymphocytes. Okay. So here, white blood cells. Before I go on with white blood cells, let me just quickly. So these are the adaptations. The size is thick in diameter, but then thin width. That means size is big in diameter, but the width is very thin. They just fit through the capillary, but the surface to volume ratio is large. So large surface area. Shape, they are biconcave discs. Greater surface area, no nucleus. Hemoglobin is a protein. We just finished that. So if this is your red blood cell, you have the hemoglobin fitted inside instead of the nucleus. Do you see that? And it has 4 heme groups. What is a heme? Heme is iron, basically. Okay, heme is iron. Now, why iron? Because iron is the #1 element to which oxygen binds very carefully. I mean, very easily. All right. And so it has 4 heme groups. So every RBC or red blood cell can carry how many oxygen molecules?
4.
4 oxygen molecules. That means how many oxygen atoms?
8.
8. Very good. Who answered that? Dilan?
Aran.
Aran. Okay, very good. So now these are oxyhemoglobin. Oxyhemoglobin is the hemoglobin with oxygen, and these are not for you. I've just put up these. Now the white blood cells are called leukocytes. Okay, what do? They defend against diseases. They ingest bacteria and viruses. They produce antibodies. These are the 2 different white blood cells. That one type helps in ingesting bacteria and virus, and the other type helps in producing antibodies, which is a kind of protein which also helps in defense of the body. So it defends against diseases. And the white blood cell is also called leukocytes. Okay, so the leukocytes are known as white blood cells. Why they are called leukocytes? Leuko means white, cytes means cells, so white blood cells. They're colorless. Okay. Unlike RBC, they have nucleus in them. Okay. Now, the nucleus is different in lymphocytes and phagocytes. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you later here. So this is a phagocytes nucleus. Do you see this nucleus and this nucleus? What is the difference? Do you see? The nuclei of lymphocytes and phagocytes.
Phagocytes are bigger,
What bigger?
like their cell.
No, I'm talking about the nuclei. Taro, the nucleus of phagocyte.
Miss, the nuclei in the phagocytes have loops. They have like 3 to 5 loops.
That's right.
Loops.
Yeah, lobes. They are multi-lobed. Okay. And the lymphocyte has nucleus, which is one round nucleus. It has no lobes. Lobe, L-O-B-E. Okay. So do you
Lobe.
see this on your in your book, page number 119? You have this diagram here. 9.21. Okay. So this is a phagocyte with 3 lobes, right? This is a lymphocyte where the nucleus is round and it has no lobes. Understood? That's one difference between phagocyte and lymphocyte. Okay, so unlike the red blood cells, white blood cells have a nucleus, right? And phagocytes, what do they do? Okay, now like the nucleus is different, their function is also different. Okay, what do phagocytes do? They do a process called phagocytosis. Okay, now what is phagocytosis? Phagocytosis is, see, the phagocytes are amoeboid in their structure and also in their function. What does amoeboid mean? You remember amoeba that we had done in Protoctis when we were doing? I'm sure you don't remember. I'm going to show it to you again. Look at this. Okay. Look at this. This is an amoeba. Okay. But the phagocyte has similar way of movement because it moves with its cytoplasm. It elongates the cytoplasm so that it looks like little, foot, and it starts moving like so. Look how the cytoplasm is moving, and then it moves like that. And how does it eat? This is amoeba we are talking about. It eats paramecium. It's another microorganism. And look how it engulfs the paramecium. Look, it goes around it. You remember I had shown you this before? Yes?
You haven't.
I have. You don't remember then?
No, I'm
Okay,
pretty
anyways,
sure
I'm
you
showing
haven't.
you now. This is amoeba, which engulfs its prey like that. And so this is a paramecium which it eats, and it forms vacuoles like this. These are food vacuoles. Exactly like this happens in our phagocytes. Phagocytes also behave similarly. How do they behave? They engulf the pathogen, in other words, bacteria and viruses. Okay, they engulf the bacterium, for example. They form a food vacuole, and the enzymes, especially called lysozymes, these enzymes start attacking the bacterium and disintegrate it. And the substances which are soluble, that means the substances which are good for the cell, they are absorbed by the phagocyte itself, and the waste material is thrown out. This whole process is called phagocytosis. Okay, what is phagocytosis? The way phagocytes attack pathogens. What are pathogens? Pathogens are all foreign organisms which can create a problem in our body. In other words, which can disease our body. Okay, so pathogens like bacteria and viruses, they are attacked by phagocytes, and phagocytes engulf meaning what? It, look at this particular diagram here. I hope you are looking at it. Okay, now this is a phagocyte. This is showing you how a phagocyte engulfs a bacterium. If you can see it in your book, then you'll know this. So phagocytosis, what is the first step of phagocytosis? A phagocyte moves towards a group of bacteria and flows around them. And then it engulfs it and forms a vacuole. It's called a food vacuole inside the phagocyte. And then enzymes are secreted into the vacuole, and those enzymes digest the bacteria. Okay, and the soluble substances diffuse from the vacuole into the phagocyte, and the waste material is thrown out of the phagocyte. That is phagocytosis. Is there any doubt in this? Tell me. Did you understand what phagocytosis is? I'm asking you.
Yes.
Miss, could you explain it again? I don't get it.
Okay. So, what did I say? What are phagocytes? What are phagocytes?
I'm not sure about it. Could you like explain it again?
No. I will not just repeat myself over and over again. If I have spoken about phagocyte before phagocytosis, so you tell me what is a phagocyte? Anyone?
It's a white blood cell that has lobes and it engulfs bacterium and the enzymes inside
That's right.
it.
Hold on. So phagocyte is a type of white blood cell. There are two types of white blood cell, I said, phagocyte and lymphocyte. Okay. If you didn't understand or did not, if you had, okay, this is for everyone. When I'm talking in length about a process and the main player is a phagocyte, and you have doubts about what in the world is phagocyte, you're going to stop me and ask me then, not wait till the whole story is over and then you ask me who the hero is. Okay, Daro, did you understand what I just said? And that goes for everyone. If you don't understand, you have to stop me and say, okay, what is phagocyte again? So that you understand the rest of the story. So phagocyte is a type of white blood cells. There are two types of white blood cells, phagocytes and lymphocytes. We will come to lymphocytes later. Now we're talking about phagocytes. Phagocytes help in attacking bacteria and virus. And how does it do it? It engulfs. What is engulfing? I showed you the video right now. Right. So I just showed you the video here. Do you see this? How this is an amoeba. So phagocytes have amoeboid movement. What it means is just this. It moves through its cytoplasm. It extends the cytoplasm and it moves and engulfs the food. In this case, paramecium for amoeba. But for phagocyte, it will be, what will be the food for phagocytes?
The bacterium?
Yes, the bacterium, right? So it will then quickly engulf the bacterium. Now inside the cell, inside the phagocyte, this bacterium is enclosed into a vacuole now. Just like how you saw in that picture, how the paramecium gets engulfed and then a vacuole is formed inside the cell. Similarly, the bacterium, when it gets engulfed inside the phagocyte, a vacuole is formed. And in this vacuole, now that the bacterium is inside the vacuole, the digestive enzymes in the cell, they start getting secreted inside the vacuole, and these enzymes break down the bacteria, and that's how bacteria is killed. Now, when the bacterium is killed, there are some substances which can be used up by the cell. So that gets used up. There are soluble substances which get used up inside the cell, and the cells which are, and the substances which are waste material, it is thrown out of the cell. Is that clear? That's phagocytosis. Please go through that picture and tell me if you've understood. Prusha, Dasan, Daro, others. Did you understand? Prusha, did you understand? Right. And Dasan, Daro, did you understand? Daro. Okay, good. Right. Okay, so now I'm going to go to this. Wait 1 second. Why is it not cutting out? Okay. So phagocytes, what do? They engulf harmful microorganisms in a process known as phagocytosis. Remember to use this word engulf. They like it a lot. You don't have to say, they go around the bacterium or they eat. Do not ever say the word eat. Always say engulf. Okay, harmful microorganisms. They will give you full marks if you say engulf. Then white blood cells can change shape. Now, this is very important. This allows them to squeeze through the walls of blood vessels into the body tissues. So, because they are not rigid, they can squeeze shape and they are flexible. So they can easily pass through the blood vessels, and then
Miss, isn't this called amoeboid fashion?
amoeboid movement. Yes.
Amoeboid.
Okay. Now, the other white blood cell is called lymphocyte. It looks a lot like corona here, but no, it's not corona. It's lymphocyte. Okay. It produces proteins called antibodies, which are part of body's immune response. Now, what do the antibodies do? They also go and then they attach to the microbes, that is the viruses and pathogens, and then these phagocytes can recognize them faster, and then they can go and engulf it and destroy it. Okay, so types of white blood cells, you have phagocytes and lymphocytes. A good time now to just quickly jot this down. White blood cells are phagocytes and lymphocytes, and phagocytes engulf microorganisms, and lymphocytes produce antibodies. Are you listening to me, everybody? So what are the two types of white blood cells? Let me see. I will ask to a particular person. So, Lara, what are the different types, two types of white blood cells?
Phagocytes and lymphocytes.
And what is the function of phagocyte? Very good. What's the function of phagocyte? We just finished talking about phagocytosis. And what does that mean? Phagocytes help in engulfing
waste material.
Engulfing
Miss, is
what?
it engulfing bacteria?
Yes.
Sorry, Miss, I wasn't paying attention. I had something else to do.
You can't then do that. That's why I always ask my students to come. Now, this is the last lesson and the last week and so on, so I'm not making it a big deal. But if this is the way I'm going to teach from next term or whenever, I would want you, all of you, to come online. I won't listen if you don't have a camera. You have to get a camera. Because this is ridiculous. I have no idea whether you're seated even in your place. So anyways, this is for your benefit. It's up to you, your responsibility to take the maximum, benefits from this. I can't do much from here. All I can do is talk and tell you what each term and explain everything. It's up to you whether you want to take it or not. Okay. Phagocytes, it engulfs microorganisms. Lymphocytes, it produces antibodies, right? Okay. Why can white blood cells change shape? I just told you it can change shape because so that it can squeeze through the walls of blood vessels into body tissues and for phagocytes to engulf harmful microorganisms. So listen, microorganisms can be outside the blood vessels, right? So sometimes the microorganisms, when they are outside the blood vessels, the phagocytes can squeeze through the capillaries. In capillaries, I told you, right? The wall of the capillary is made up of single cells. Did I tell you? Remember that? It is single cell thickness. It means it's just made up of one layer of cells. Now, between the cells, there'll be gaps, okay? And there is leakage because of the gap. And due to the gap, it will pass through the gap and squeeze into the tissues so that it can engulf the microorganisms. Clear? That is why they are so flexible and they can squeeze. Okay. Now, next. Red blood cells are responsible for transporting oxygen from lungs to all cells. They're adapted to their function by having. What is this? Why is this sound coming? Please mute yourselves. Thank you. They're adapted to their function by having a biconcave shape. What is the meaning of biconcave shape adaptation? Somebody, I'm going to ask you now. I'm going to ask who? Daro. Red blood cells have biconcave shape. What is the adaptation? Adaptation is biconcave shape. What is the function of this adaptation? Daro.
Yes. What is happening? What is that voice?
I don't know. What is that? If somebody is doing it, this is ridiculous. Stop acting your age. Don't act like a 5-year-old.
Miss, sorry, could you explain it again? Like
Is there
a question.
anybody
Can
who
you see
can
the question?
explain
Can you
it?
no, can you see the question again?
Okay, the question is, the red blood cells are biconcave in shape. Can you tell me why? That's an
So
adaptation.
to have a room for oxygen, to like have room.
That is, it has no nucleus. That is why.
No
But what about the
nucleus.
shape? Erin, are you here, Erin? Erin?
Yes, Miss, I'm here.
Yeah, tell me.
It's for more surface area, isn't it?
That's right. It has so that there is more surface area, and more surface area will help to do what?
Oxygen diffusion.
That is right. Thank you. To maximize surface area. Okay. Hemoglobin. Okay, let me ask Daro again. What is the adaptation hemoglobin helpful for? How does hemoglobin help? What is the adaptation?
Hemoglobin.
Hmm.
Hemoglobin, wait, let me tell you. Hemoglobin carries, what is it called?
Very good.
No,
What?
uh,
Hemoglobin carries what? You're right.
uh,
Red blood cells.
Gosh,
let me
red
text
blood
you.
cells are red because of hemoglobin, no?
Miss,
Hemoglobin
they
is
carry.
the
Miss,
red
I thought
blood
they
cell.
collect
Miss,
the oxygen, transport
No,
oxygen.
that's
Miss, they
oxygenated
carry.
hemoglobin.
That's
They
right.
carry 4 groups of heme.
Yes. Adan, what is the problem?
I said they carry 4 groups of something called heme.
And they bind with oxygen in the lungs,
Yeah.
so hemoglobin carries oxygen to be released to the body cells and used for respiration. All of that, Daro. Okay? It carries oxygen for what? For respiration in the body cells. All right? No nucleus already told to so that it frees up space for
Miss, I
hemoglobin.
have a question.
Yes.
I've had that question. Basically, do red blood cells, like, mitosis, they perform mitosis?
Red blood cells do not, no, they don't undergo mitosis because there is no nucleus.
So basically, the bone marrow produces it.
Yes. God knows what this is. Who is doing this?
It's
Or is
school, it's
I
school.
couldn't.
Shko? Excuse me, Shko? Are you in your right mind? What's going on? First of all, this is the first time you're attending my lesson and like this?
Miss, I think it's the same case with math class. Somebody is using other students' name and trolling the classes.
Miss, it's so annoying. I don't know why. Like, it's so
I
annoying.
will stop taking lesson. The whole class will suffer.
Okay, I'm sorry, mate.
Who is that?
Yeah, Miss, it's not school.
Yeah, it's not school.
Bobby.
It's not school.
Chicken curry.
I'm just removing him. Shko left. Okay, good for him. This is such a menace. Okay. And the small size is what? Small size guarantees passage even through the tiny capillaries, right? So those are the, I don't care if it's Shko or anybody. Nobody's got business to come and disrupt my class like this. They will be kicked out immediately. Whoever it is. And I'm going to report this. And if this carries on, you can forget about bio lessons. You decide. Okay, so the type of white blood cells. Now again, a repetition so that you do not ever forget. There are 2 types of white blood cells, which are which? Come on quickly.
Lymphocyte and phagocyte.
That's right, phagocytes and lymphocytes. Right.
Miss, I have one question, but it may be irrelevant.
Yeah, tell me, Yara.
What's the use of vaccine, like, what's the use of vaccine?
Let's discuss this. We will have a whole chapter on vaccine later on.
Okay.
We will have a proper discussion. Let's not go there right now. So this is red blood cells or erythrocytes. I don't know what to write here. What is this? You think? The yellow one?
Platelets.
Yes, they are the tiniest, remember. And this is the white blood cell. Right, okay. Again, somebody's come. Hemoglobin in whales. Okay, red blood cells contain hemoglobin which binds with oxygen in the lungs. So look at this whale. Why are they showing whale? Because whales have 2 times as much hemoglobin in their blood as humans.